Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I thought I'd just do a quick video on some of the new features in the graphs in Melda Production plugins. So I'm going to use Sound Factory today, but of course this actually applies to all the plugins in the Melda line. So let's get started. So let's first start with the volume here. So I'm going to go in here, just turn this all the way down, and let's use something, actually move it around like 12 or so. And what we're going to do is mess with the attack. So you see, these are like actually some fairly new modulators. So attack here, like this. Now I have this here. I'll turn this up a little bit longer. And you can hear the volume just follows this attack shape. Okay, so fairly normal, nothing that interesting. But what I can do here is if I right click here, you'll see this, which if you've used Melda plugins before, you've probably seen this menu. But this is what's new. So of course there's randomize, mirror X, mirror Y, but these four options are a little bit new. So let me show you the first one. It's analyze audio. So what we can do is just click this and we can find any audio file on our computer and it will match this curve with whatever the volume is doing in that file. So you probably don't want to use like a long song or something like that, but if you have just like a sample of one note on a piano or on a drum or something like that, we can match that with the envelope here. So let's take something, you see here it says detail, and this will, it kind of controls how many points, but it means it'll put a point every 10 milliseconds or so. So let's try to load a file here. I have this Mibira here, so let's click OK, and you see it in here, and then we can just add this wherever we want. So it really ends here, but I can move it a little bit further. It seems like it's actually decaying here. So this is 1697 milliseconds. Move the start all the way up to the beginning here. So this is, let me see how many milliseconds, 600 something. And so this is a little bit important because I want to know how long this is so it matches completely. I can round it. So this is around 600 something. This is 1600 something. So this is approximately like 1 second long, or 1000 milliseconds. So we have that. Click close. Now if we look over here, you see, oh, it kind of matches, but the time isn't the same. So let's make this around 1000 milliseconds. And let's hear it. So you can see, because the volume's going up and down a little bit quickly here, it sounds a little bit rough, but that's actually what the file is doing. But if you don't want that, we can go in and do this again, analyze audio, and you see here where it says 10 milliseconds, we move this up, like, let's say to like 100 milliseconds. And we do the exact same thing again. Set these, I'll set these quickly, they're not perfect. And now it'll have a much lower resolution, like that. So you see it's a little bit smoother. So that's really cool. So that's one thing you can do. So if you're ever wondering, like, hey, I want to get the sound of let's say like a trumpet attack or violin attack or piano decay or something like that, you can do this and you can get it like that, and it's fairly easy. It saves you lots of time. But let's actually get rid of this, turn this off for a second, and I'll show you it's not only with the volume, you can do it here with this in the shape. So just turn this to custom, turn it to 100%, click edit, and we see another window here. So now let's do the expression evaluator. So you're probably wondering, like, what is the expression evaluator? And what this does is it actually lets you input like a mathematical formula and use that. So if you look here on the graph over here, and we can go into the expression evaluator, we can put in some, let's say, formulas. So the number of points here, like I said, a lower number of points will have a lower resolution, higher number of points will have a higher resolution. Let's do like 100 something. So if I hit X, it goes straight up, just like if you're using a graphing calculator. So if you're like me and use what's like a TI-83 in high school, if you're an old person, you probably had something like this. So you can do things like that, or let's see, sine. If you just do sine X, you'll see like, hey, just a little bit of a curve. But the reason for that is just because this goes from, I believe, 0 to 1. So if you add something in here like 32x there, Now you see, like, oh, okay, now it's a little bit better and easier to see. So you can mess with that, and there's all sorts of things you can do with that. Let's see. And now you see here, oh, we have it. That's nice. But let's try something a little bit more daring, I guess. So let's try to do like equation for dampened harmonic motion. I'm not good at math, but let's try something. So let's do e to the negative x times sine. Let's try like 90 times x. Okay, and remember, this will erase when you click off this window, so I'm just going to copy this so that way I don't have to put all that in again. But now you see, oh, cool, we have something like this. And then we can adjust it again, adjust some parameters. So let's say if I put, what happened? So 90 negative x. So let's try 0.3 times 9 times, let's say 32. Oh, that's one of the problems. Need to adjust the number of points. Let's try 90 again. There. We go like that. So now it's going the other way. So it should sound like this. So as you can see, there's all sorts of things you can do with that. Just remember to adjust the number of points in here. So someone who is better at math than me can do a better job with this. But one more thing I'll show you here is this CSV. So these are files just like data. So I think it's what, comma separated values. So you can import things in like for like Excel or something like that and adjust them in there. So if you don't want to put in expressions in here, you can put them in there. So you do all sorts of things. Just remember, I believe the values only go between 0 and 1. So if you have some large values, it's not going to work. But you can export this if I wanted to, like export CVS. So let's see, CVS test here. Click OK. And then let's say if I cleared this, clear points. Oh, okay, I have nothing in there. And then I hit import CVS. Go into there. 148 points have been imported. See, and we have the same thing. So you can do that, and if you think, it's too hard for me to use the expression evaluator in here, you can use it in another program. Just export it as a CVS file and do that. And of course, I'm just using it with the oscillator and the volume, but this can be used for anything. It can be used for the semitones. It can be used here for the transformation shapes. It can be used with wavetables. It can be used with FM synthesis, all sorts of things. And even not only in the generator here, it can be used in any Melda production plugins. They all have this, or at least the ones with the graphs and modulators. So I hope that gave you some interesting ideas and possibilities of things you can do with this. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you like this, give me a thumbs up and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Till next time, see you.